I'm Sam.
And I'm Greg.
We're human beings, and we like movies.
We'll be doing reviews of brand new releases,
Old classics,
entire sagas,
and even TV shows and video games.
This is Reaction Time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 74 of Reaction Time Podcast. What's up, Craig?
Time. Dude, I'm so good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm vibing.
Are you vibing?
74. We're one away from 75. A Quiet Place 3/0. But
Day one.
one.
Yeah. So maybe
It's
a
the third
one.
movie, but it's also the 0th movie. But it's also day one. It's like the Xbox,
It's like the Xbox One.
where it's like Xbox 360, Xbox One. Surprise.
yeah.
It's like Transformers 1. Although, here's the thing. For a super long time, I thought that Transformers movie was a live action movie. And I was like, why does this look so bad? And then I realized it's not.
The animation's weird.
It's weird, but it actually looks like it could be okay.
It looks like it could
For
be really
like
fun.
an animated movie. Okay,
But it's weird.
today we're talking about Hitman,
Hitman.
which came out on Netflix this month.
Yep.
But first, I have one or two things I need to tell you about.
Okay.
Thing number one about Inside Out 2, because I saw it again.
Oh,
So
okay.
not only does Joy have a bing bong at her bed, but Anger has a swear jar that's mostly full on his bed, along with a fire
Yes.
extinguisher. So
Yes.
I thought that was a very funny detail.
Fantastic.
Actually, I think that's it. That's all I can remember.
Okay. End credit
all my
scene.
notes.
You went and saw that?
Oh, and the end credit scene. Yeah,
Yeah. Pretty funny.
wonderful. Pretty funny.
Dude, that movie
yeah,
is going
anyway.
insane.
It's going bonkers. It is sitting at about 800 million right now.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if we're all a little low
Oh, yeah. I think so.
on our guesses. Do you? Okay, real quick. Do you think it'll pass Mario?
Yes.
Wow.
I think it might.
I think you're right. It's Mario did 1.3, and I don't think it was this
1.34.
high after 2 weeks.
I don't think so. It's not falling as much as Mario did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Well, this movie stars Glenn Powell,
Glenn Powell,
who is a
along with a bunch
very
of people I've never
handsome
seen.
man.
Oh, Glenn Powell and Donna from Parks and Rec. The black girl. I have no idea what her name is at all. I just know her as Donna. That's all that's important to me.
I still haven't seen that show, so
Oh my gosh.
I know.
It's
I'm
going to be
sorry.
one of your new faves.
Yeah, I know.
Just
I've seen
you
the
wait.
first like 3 episodes.
Just you wait, man. Or don't wait. Just go watch it.
Just go watch it. But I got The Bear to watch. The Bear. Season 3 is out, y'all.
Season 3, it's out. It is out. Okay, so I guess first of all, spoiler free for a sec, then we'll jump into spoilers. Craig, what did you think about this movie?
I kind of love this movie.
It's great, right?
It is so great.
It's got
Okay.
it's got an unassuming charm about it, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear a movie called Hitman. Look, first off, I thought video game. It wasn't the video game,
Oh,
but even then, I could not have been prepared going into this movie at all.
did you see any trailers or know any
No,
synopsis?
and I
or
didn't watch
anything?
anything, and I love that.
That's the best way to go into
It's
a
the best.
movie. That's awesome.
I heard, you kind of said it was like kind of a comedy, so I'm thinking like Date Night or Night and Day or something like that. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, yeah. No, it's different than that, and I loved it. It's actually
different.
like so good.
It's an interesting movie,
Yeah,
but it is so good.
I highly recommend it.
It is. Yeah, it's Glenn Powell he's having a run right now.
Well, and he must have had so much fun with this movie.
Oh yeah, I watched a
Like,
few behind the
so much
scenes of some of the stuff, and I'm like, that looks both fun and not fun at all. Just with the costuming, but yeah, I mean he's great. I like
so
him.
good.
He's very charismatic, or at least he
Yes.
comes through as charismatic through his characters and stuff.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to think of like the movies I've seen recently with him in it. I know this one's not recent, but he was in Hidden Figures.
Who was he in Hidden Figures?
He's one of the astronauts, I think, who comes out, and he's the guy who goes and shakes.
He's the main one.
What?
He's the main astronaut guy.
Yeah, he's the main astronaut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes.
He's
so
the
much
one who
sense
goes
now.
and shakes everybody's hand, and then he was in like Anyone But You, which is so good. Have you seen that one yet? That one you have to see, dude. That's
okay.
That one. You'll like that one for sure.
Okay.
That one gives off very like proposal vibes.
Okay.
That's a solid movie.
Great movie.
And then he was in this one. He was in Top Gun. I know that was a couple years ago, but
yeah.
I just recently learned that he's in The Dark Knight Rises, which was 14 years ago.
I did see that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I need to watch that movie again to know when he's in it.
Yeah. I just found out he's in Spy Kids 3D. Okay, I mean it's
yes. That was his top right there. Spy Kids 3D.
That was his top. Yeah. Absolutely 100%. Yeah. But yeah, this movie's just like it's a little twisty, but just fun.
It's kind of a little twisty, but
a little twisty, but
it's not. That's not like the purpose of it.
No,
but
no,
it's
it's
just
not a mind
fun
bender.
Movie.
What would you say this is? Like, is this a comedy or is it a rom-com or?
It's kind of a.
It's kind of a
not really
rom-com,
a
but I
rom-com.
feel like at the same time it has so little romance and so little comedy that is it?
Yeah.
It's
rom-com makes it feel like, and rom-coms are good, but it feels like an insult to this movie because it's really not that traditional rom-com. It's
and it doesn't.
It's a comedy.
It's a rom-dramedy.
It's a story-driven movie. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to place this one.
It is.
It is very hard to place this one, because especially when I would say it never tries to be funny, really.
Right.
Not really.
It just is in ways, but it's not like trying to play to be funny.
Yeah, there is no action. It's just it's rated R only for language.
Yeah, you hear Hitman, you think like, oh, action movie. Nope.
Yep. Nope.
Much different than that.
Yeah, but it's good. What would you give it out of 10?
I would probably give it like a solid 9. It was a fun movie.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. I'd give it an 8.8.
Okay.
It's good. It's a good solid it's a good like it'd be like a good date night movie. You know what I mean?
It's a good like one watcher and maybe show some friends and maybe you know in 20 years you're like, "Oh man, I forgot about that movie," and you watch it again type of thing. It just it was just fun.
Yeah. It's a solid movie that is not going to become your favorite movie.
No.
But
and I would also even say it's not going to be like on my list of like rewatching a lot. But it still was fun. I mean, I enjoyed the hour and 50 minutes of this movie. Just well done. Yeah.
It's very fun. Should we break it down? Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of it. If you're listening to this, don't watch a trailer. Just go into it. It's just fun.
It's fun.
Just know you're going to have a good time. And it's R for language. And I mean, there's some sex scenes.
There's some spicy scenes, but there's no nudity or anything.
Yeah.
So, it's mild spiciness. I'd relate it to a jalapeno.
Related to like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into spoilers.
Yeah.
And such.
Subscribe to all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Follow all of our things. And have a fantastic day if you're leaving.
Yeah. And goodbye.
Yeah.
And may God guide you in your quest.
Get out.
Okay, so visually.
Yeah.
The first thing that I think is just so funny is his tiny little kitchen table. It made me giggle so much.
So tiny.
It's so small. So I guess anyway, if you're here and you haven't seen the movie, really super fast synopsis. Basically, there's this nerdy guy who's a professor out of college. He works part-time with the police department.
Yeah. He's setting up cameras and microphones.
Yeah, he's
in like houses.
Yeah,
to try and catch people.
They're basically, they have a team where basically they're fake hitmen, and they basically get people to pay them and tell them to kill a person so they can go arrest them.
Right.
Without it being entrapment, but it's entrapment.
Yeah.
All the time. But that's the whole synopsis. But he's not a hitman whatsoever. And then one of the cops, the main cop who is the hitman, the fake hitman, he gets suspended because he's a D-bag and he like beat up some teenagers. And so
like Glenn Powell's,
yeah. Glenn Powell's character has to step up and be the new fake hitman, and he ends up just kind of loving it and getting really into it. And that's the synopsis basically. It's really funny.
Dude, the different like looks and accents and costumes. That's where like he had to have had so much fun.
Oh, absolutely. I've watched some videos about all the like prosthetics and he did like a full prosthetic neck, I think, for the tattoos.
Yes.
The wigs, there's all this stuff. So basically he's just trying to tailor the hitman to the guy or girl that he's getting hired by. And they just are so good.
They're so good.
They're so funny. He changes his voice and he acts a different way and all this different kind of stuff. And
he's got like a Russian guy.
Russian guy and the British redhead with the freckles are my two favorites. They're so good.
They're so funny.
So funny.
And this is visuals, but it was crazy. So he's a handsome looking dude, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's good looking, but when they portray him at the school and he's got like these glasses on and his hair is just kind of going down, he doesn't look that good. I mean, he looks fine, right? But then he has this one that's called Ron, and he's got like his hair kind of combed back, and he doesn't have his glasses on, and he's just wearing like this nice jacket, and it's like, bro, it's like night and day.
It's freaking, what do they call it? Pretty Womaning or something, or Princess Diaries, where it's like,
why
you just take the glasses off and then whoa,
it's like Superman, right?
It's exactly what it is.
He could be Clark Kent and Superman by how different it is with just the glasses and a little bit of the hair difference.
And the jean shorts, dude. That's so funny. Yeah, so it's just like this nerdy guy who's like, his ex-wife basically tells him he's incapable of passion. And he's just this sad cat guy. And it's
which is ironic because he studies like human like feelings and stuff like that, and so it's ironic he can't feel really passion, funny. But he basically teaches it.
This movie, as far as I can tell, has zero CGI.
Yeah.
Like, not a lick.
Nope.
And nothing crazy as far as cinematography or anything. Like, visually, outside of the costumes, this whole movie was just plus or minus zero for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's just filmed.
It's just a filmed.
Doesn't
they filmed
look
the
bad.
movie. There's
Doesn't
no
look
like
incredible.
Yeah, there's not even really. I wouldn't say there's any stylistic choices. Like, they literally they filmed the movie.
Yeah.
So.
But the costumes are cool.
Yeah, the costumes are great. Do you have any other visual notes about it?
No. The only other notes I've got is in story.
So what would you give it?
It's hard because you've asked the question before of, is it just how well they accomplished what they were going for?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at that point, they accomplished it, but I don't know. I wouldn't give it a 200 because it's not.
No way.
There's nothing over the top, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing that breaks the mold or is stylistically very good, but it's just a good looking movie. I mean, it looks great.
Yeah.
But I'd probably do like a 170.
Okay.
You got your average 150, and then you add 20 points for the costumes and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 165.
Okay.
I do think they could have done a little bit more stylistically.
It could have been cool. If they almost filmed each character differently.
That's true too. Yeah, I just think there was more that they could have done that they just decided not to, which is fine. But the costumes were great. All of his disguises were really well done.
They're so good.
They look legit. Like all of that is really good. But then there's nothing really outside of the ordinary.
No.
Literally at all for the whole movie.
No,
so.
It's just a typical movie.
Yeah. Okay, so story.
So
this is where life gets interesting.
So basically, like you did the synopsis for it, he's this guy, he becomes this fake hitman and just kind of falls in love with it. And he meets this girl that is trying to get a hit on her husband because he's this horrible person, and you can kind of tell that he kind of likes her and doesn't want to put her in jail, so he's like, take the money and just run, right?
Yeah.
Which is not what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be catching these people, but he likes her. And so she runs and doesn't, get the hit on the husband, and she sends him like a thing about doing a charity with dogs or something like that, and meets up with him again, and they basically sign a contract because she still believes that he's the hitman, and so they're not going to pursue the relationship in any like emotional way. It's just going to be like physical, fun, hang out, they don't leave the house type of thing. And it was different. It was fun.
Yeah.
And so obviously one thing comes to the next. She finds out that he's not actually a hitman because she kills her husband because the husband runs into them at like a club or something and gets after Gary, Glenn Powell.
Well, and then she finds out that he's going to kill her. Before she kills the husband, she finds out that the husband's planning to kill her.
So that scene, basically, right, he's a fake hitman. So the husband, Ray, hires Glenn Powell to kill the wife, but they sit back to back because he sees who it is and doesn't want him to see him because he knows who he is. And so they sit back to back and they're talking through this whole thing. And then he like turns around to look at Ray, and then Ray like freaks out because he sees that it's him. I totally did not realize it was the husband.
Oh, really?
Because you only saw him for like 1 second, right?
Yeah, and he was dressed way differently.
And then he like freaks out, and I'm like, why is he freaking out? And then he says, I'll off the boyfriend for free or something like that. And I was like, oh, this is the freaking husband of Madison. I totally did not connect the dots there.
Yeah.
Because he looked totally different. But yeah, so she figures out that he's going to kill her, so then she kills him, makes up this whole story, and thinks that Glenn Powell's going to be okay with it because she believes he's an actual hitman. And at that point, he freaks out because he's not an actual hitman, and is like, I haven't killed anybody. And she's like,
I've never done this before.
I've never done this before. And then here's where one of my notes is. He's like, that Ron's not even my real name, it's Gary. And she's like, who the F is Gary?
Oh, it's
I just thought that was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. So I love his little team. So the girl who plays Donna, whose name I don't know, and then the other dude, like the little, I don't know if he's Middle Eastern or Hispanic. Yeah, but so Glenn Powell's gonna go in for the first time to do this, and his friend's like, "You can do it," and then he's like, "Well, why don't you do it?" He's like, "No way, I tried years ago, almost got killed," and then they have to switch.
And then switch their clothes.
The cop is like, "You're not going in wearing those, are you?" And just his jean shorts that are like knee length. So they have to switch pants in the parking lot. But it's really funny.
Well, and then they go to switch pants again afterwards, and the lady's just sitting there watching them, and they're like, "Can you leave?" And she's like, "You guys are so weird."
Oh, it's so funny.
So I loved.
Go ahead.
I loved how the first hitman person's name is Craig. Because it was
was it really? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, because the guy's like, Chief better watch his A with this Craig guy. And then, like, there were so many, like, lines that Glenn Powell said, like, in like, this sadistic tone to Craig. And so I was just laughing because it was just funny.
It's funny because he goes in there and then immediately just, like, leans into it. And you're like, whoa, hold on. Yeah, it's funny. So when he turns into Ron and he meets, what's her name? Madison. And they're talking and she's like, they're talking about dogs and cats. He's like, yeah, I'm totally a dog person. She's like, yeah, I don't like cats. And he's like, wait, why? And he like gets, he kind of gets all like defensive about cats because he has 2 cats at home. Oh, that's so funny. Do you have more story notes?
Yeah, I was gonna say the only other one that I have is after he's Ron, he comes back into the car. No, it's not after Ron. It's after the first time. They go back in the car and they're just driving back and they're kind of like, oh, Gary, you're like kind of cool. And they start like talking to him and then he just starts going off about these like birds that are somewhere. And he's like the 3 pileated birds and they're like, pileated? It's just so random.
Dude, it's so funny. Okay, so after he's Ron's super cool. Gary's a loser, but Ron is cool. So when he turns into Ron, he like turns into this really cool guy. And his team kind of starts to realize that Ron's cool. And the lady who plays Donna, she goes, they're kind of talking about like, I would do this to Ron and I would let Ron do this. And she goes, I would rip my IUD out for Ron. And then the guy says something, and she's like, "You're kind of making me like, you're kind of making it seem like you want to F Ron too." And he goes, "I would take your sloppy seconds."
I would take your sloppy seconds.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, and then he goes and teaches at the school, and then he's got kind of the Ron look going on now because, you know, they were talking about how cool Ron was, and then like 2 girls in the class were like, "When did he get hot?
When did our teacher get hot?"
And it's so crazy. Just, he does not look that good. And then when he switches to Ron, it's like, bro, like, it's so funny how big of a change it is with a little bit of a hairdo and glasses.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then my last story note is when they freaking kill the cop. He suffocates him with a bag. I did not think that was going to happen.
So basically, when she figures out that he's not real, he goes back to the police and they're trying to figure out who killed the guy, right? Who killed the husband. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we think the main suspect's going to be the wife, Madison, because he had just gotten like $1 million life insurance policy or something like that.
Yeah.
And the other cop guy who got suspended ran into Madison and Glenn at like this restaurant. And so he was like, oh, you're meeting up with the old suspects. And so he thinks they're a thing. And so he's like, yeah, I think the wife is probably the suspect. Let's have Ron go in as Ron and see if he can get a confession out of her. And so he goes in there and because he doesn't allow him to be alone at all. And he's like typing on his phone, like, telling Madison like how to follow along because he's like, they're after you. You got to make it seem like you can kill him.
So good.
So good. Because she's trying to, in the moment, pretend that she didn't kill him, but she acts it so well.
Yeah, because Ron is bugged. And so it's Ron and Madison in there.
Yeah.
And Ron has to be saying one thing, but showing her another thing on his phone. He's like, they're listening. Deny, deny, deny. Even though we both know you killed this guy, do not say that you killed him. And all of that it's just so fun too.
Good scene.
It's a really fun back and forth scene.
So basically, he gets away with it, and then they're like, okay, maybe the wife isn't the suspect. So then he goes back to her house, and the cop's there, the one that got suspended.
Yeah,
and he's like, he basically
which was
blackmails
shocking
him.
too.
Super shocking.
Were you surprised when he walks in and the cops just there? I was like,
100%.
that's where the movie got tense. And I was like,
It got super
no,
tense.
what's gonna happen?
Because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I've been following you and keeping tabs on you. He's like, I've got enough information to put you away for life, and you'd be put away for like 80 years or something. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I won't do it if you give me basically the insurance money. Well, at one moment, Madison had grabbed some beer for the cop because Ron had come in. And then he starts like being like, it's hot in here, and kind of acting like weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, did she drug him? And then he just falls down limp, and she's like, I put some drugs in, and I don't know if I overdosed it. I'm not sure. And then she's like, what are we going to do? I'm totally screwed because now I just drugged a cop and I've killed a person. Mm-hmm. And Gary, he just like gets up and he's kind of like thinking about it. And he's like, well, there's only one thing we can do. And he just grabs a grocery bag and just puts it over him and ties it.
Which is insane.
He
has not done anything illegal.
He's never killed.
He's
never even hurt anybody.
No, he's a cat guy. And
it's a cat guy.
Here's the thing. It's a little rare that you root for the bad guys in a movie. And in this movie, in a lot of ways, Madison is the bad guy, kind of.
Right.
I mean, she kills one person and is an accomplice to another, right?
Yeah.
And she's the only one actually killing people in the whole movie.
That's right.
And so it was like, but also she is so charming and endearing, and you kind of, you get her reasoning, and her husband was abusive, so she killed him, and it's like not necessarily condoning that, but it's also like, I get you.
And he had the hit out for her.
Yeah, and it's just like,
it's not the right thing to do, but
I feel so good about them winning. And what I love is that they kill him, and he's like, honestly, if you look at it, like, Jasper was not living a good life. His wife left him years ago. He's been on leave. He has all these issues. He's a sexist. Yeah. He's a racist. He's all these things. And so, I mean, making it look like a suicide is not going to be very difficult. And then it just cuts to them like 6 years later. And they have
they've got a kid.
And they're thriving. And it's just like, I don't feel even one bit yucky about what they did. It's like, they're like kind of like, I won't tell if you don't. It's like, all right, sounds good.
And then they're like meeting with like some school teacher or something, and she's like, oh, yeah, we need these things made. And she's like, oh, I can make the costumes. And it's like, because he made all the costumes for himself. Yeah. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you. Because this person backed out, and I just wanted to kill them. And then she
she said, I just wanted to strangle her.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, funny.
And then the kids are like, where did you guys meet? And they're like, well, we met at this place.
We met at a cafe. Yeah.
Left out the details.
But it's like, I love that they won.
I know, right?
Which, yeah.
So that's actually, that's the only thing that's different. I don't know if you looked up like the true story.
Oh yeah, he didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, there was no like, he didn't meet up with, some old suspect and have a relationship with and kill anybody. He was just a fake hitman that did a lot of research on his people that he needed to look up, and did dress up differently, but not like that extreme.
Yeah.
But I like in the credits how they show that they're like, 0 murders. We made this one up.
Yeah, there's like college professor and all this stuff, and then it's like chillest dude on earth is one of them.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you. At the beginning, he's talking about hitmen, and he's like, the world is enamored with hitmen because they've been glorified in books and movies and all this stuff. And he's like, turns out hitmen don't actually exist at all. And I was like, I don't know about that. What do you think? I think 100% hitmen exist. I'm not saying they have steady work.
But is there a lot of times that somebody just drops dead? That's like
you ever
super
listen to a
unexplainable.
single unsolved murder?
I guess that's true.
I even think about
there's serial killers.
No, not serial killers. That's a different thing. There's this documentary called What Jennifer Did. And you know what Jennifer did? She hired hitmen to kill her parents. And they accidentally didn't kill one of them.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah. They like killed the mom and then shot the dad in the head, but he didn't die. And then he woke up and testified because the daughter was there. So anyway, hitmen exist. I'm just saying. But she paid a dude like $2,000 to kill both of her parents. I'm like, this guy is not a professional at all.
No, that is not enough money.
That is too cheap. If you can get a TV for more money than you can get a hitman, they are not very good.
Do you think there's like this big like society of them? Like
no.
Or is it just like
absolutely not? I think there are sketchy people that will kill people, and so by word of mouth, you can pay these people a few $1,000s and they'll go kill somebody for you. But I don't think I don't think they're James Bond level skilled. I think they're just like people who kill people.
Right.
I don't think they're sneaky. I just think they're murderers. Murder for hire. Less of a hitman, more of a murder for hire.
Right.
That's what I think. That's my opinion. So, what would you give the story?
I'll do a 189.
Okay.
It was fun.
It was fun. I'll give it a 195 because I love the originality and the little twist. Yeah. And I just love that it really makes you root for the bad guys. Even though, honestly, they're not that bad. They are bad.
Yeah, they are.
It's a moral gray area leaning towards the dark side of...
It's that fine line of...
Both of the people they kill are horrible people, which is not the justification, but it is better than killing good people.
Right.
I guess if you're going to look at it from an ethics standpoint. Again, not condoning murder here. Are we going to get super
into ethics?
We are
Go
not.
Kill everybody.
Let's open up the latest Kant book. Okay, so let's talk acting.
I don't think there was anybody that did bad.
Me neither. I thought it was really good across the board.
Like, if anybody was the worst, it was Jasper, but he was still really good.
I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
I think Glenn Powell was great. The girl who played Madison I think she was really, really good. And not in an over-the-top way, but we've talked about this where it's like they do so good that you forget there's an actor there.
Right.
That's how she was for me, where I was like, this girl is this character.
Especially that scene where she has to fake with him. Like, top acting. Yeah. That was really good.
And then just the police chief, and there's not a lot of people, but all of the people who hire him did so good. And
they're great.
I love how most of them are these redneck, like there's some kind of older people, some backwoodsy people, just
some old ladies.
The whole range of people. One like kid. I love the kid one because he's got the scar and he's like, "Are you sure you want to do this? It'll haunt you forever."
He's like, "Just kill the bit."
It's so funny. Yeah.
You got these old ladies and like just.
But Glenn Powell as all those different characters, 200.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy 200. He did.
I'll do 195 because it was all really, really good. Yeah.
Deal. Oh wait, did we give it scores for story?
Yeah.
I didn't write them down.
I did 189 and I think you did 195.
Oh, we're talking about. Oh, I did write it down. You're giving it 195 for the acting?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 198.
Nice.
I did really not have any issues with this. So yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the score and sound.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It had good songs. But again,
songs.
it was just, this wasn't a mind blower for me.
No. Just had some songs in there, but it wasn't like Baby Driver or
Guardians.
Like Nobody or Guardians, where it's like super good music driving the movie. It was just good music in the background, but
yeah.
I mean, and the score. I mean, the sound effects and stuff like that. There wasn't a ton, so
yeah.
155.
Okay.
This is average, I guess.
160. Yep, just average. Just average, plain old normal.
You know, in our Avatar episode, you said average is only like 80. So
that was over a year and a half ago. I cannot be quoted on that any longer. The statute of limitations is up. We get a 6-month statute of limitations on our podcast. So anything I said 6 months ago doesn't count.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Vibe.
198.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna give it a 197. Very similar on this movie.
It's just a fun movie.
Yes, I added to that list of movies that I think are very watchable and are easily palatable. Right? Doesn't require a lot of thought. Doesn't even really require too much paying attention necessarily. But it's still like really, really fun. You're gonna have a good time. It's similar.
It's like one I recommend. Just like, hey, you want to have a fun day? Watch this movie.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So I'd put it in the realm of like, you know, of kind of the same vibe. I'd say like Game Night. Of the movies we've reviewed, Game Night. Maybe. Oh, I hated that movie. I forgot about Looper. I was thinking Renfield. Kind of Baby Driver, even though Baby Driver is like pretty dope.
I would say Game Night is for me at least much higher. That's like a super rewatch all the time, very funny.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this is kind of one of those one-offs like. Renfield,
but as far as movies that you can just
like
sit down, have a fun time watching it, you don't need to think a ton about it. Yeah. Fall
it's a
Guy.
better Argyle.
Yeah.
With way less twists.
Although, I don't know. I loved Argyle, dude.
I know.
I really liked that movie.
I was so disappointed.
I get your qualms, but...
Yeah. I paid way too much attention to Argyle.
Yeah. So much. Okay, I'm gonna guess that I gave this movie a 942. No, because I think 943.
939.
915. You get a 907.
Oh, the visuals.
We did low visuals and score.
Dang it, I forgot about that.
Bummer. 907. 915. Still good though. Don't let that repel you.
Story and score and vibe, and I was like, and acting, and I was like, oh yeah, score I gave a little low, but everything else I gave high, but I forgot about visuals.
Yeah. Did this movie come out in theaters?
I was gonna ask that, or is this just a streaming movie?
It looks like it came out in theaters everywhere except for America.
That makes sense.
Because it has a $2.9 million box office internationally and then 0 domestic.
Wow.
It actually came out last year. It came out...
2023.
Yeah. Well, that's what it says, but then all of the all of the countries it released in like May. So I have no idea.
Oh, weird. Is the director like a foreign director, and so it just
is the director just Russian? I don't know.
Huh.
I have no idea.
Well, I don't know how to. I'd guess like 2.9 million at the box office.
Oh, I think I'm gonna guess something similar. Probably 2.983. I think is what I'll go with.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if they have any numbers. I'm not even gonna try to guess, but
yeah, they have any like it's been like pretty popular.
I've heard a few people talk about it. I haven't really seen anything about it on the internet, but which had a little bit run in theaters, but was primarily launched in Netflix original, hit 1.5 billion minutes watched in its first 7 days, translating to 12.6 million estimated views when divided by the film's runtime.
That's pretty good.
In the first week, that is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Hitman Global Top. And it's been top 10. It's still top 10 on Netflix.
Yeah.
Even, what is it, 3-4 weeks later?
Yeah.
Probably about 3 weeks later. Like when I just looked at it, it was number 9 today. So that's pretty solid.
Go watch it. It's good. It's on Netflix.
It is good. And it's not super long. It's under 2 hours, just about an hour 50 of watch time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not horrible. It's a fun movie. Easy to follow.
Corey like it?
Fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a fun time watching it. It was good.
Yeah. We started it Thursday night, and then we were about an hour into it, and we were like both pretty dang tired.
Mm-hmm.
And Lindsay's like, okay, I'm gonna go up to bed. And I was like, okay. She's like, if you want to stay up and watch it. She's like, I'm kind of intrigued though, you know? And I was like, yeah, it's fun. It's been a fun watch, and we're an hour into it. And she's like, well, I mean, if you want to wake up early, you can watch it. So I watched it this morning at like
did you really?
6:30 a.m. to finish the rest of it. And Lindsay's just kind of like popping in and out while she's watching the kids to finish watching it. So, yeah.
Wow. You were committed.
Committed.
That's funny. Well,
anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's it for Hitman.
Yeah.
We got Quiet Place Day 1 next week.
Day 1.
Potentially. Are you going to see that, do you think? Maybe next week?
I think so.
And then we've got
The Bear.
Then we've got A Week I Don't Care About. And then Deadpool Wolverine.
A Week I Don't Care About. I'm sorry, what?
What's going on that week that you care about?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Make fun of me then.
Oh.
Is there anything going on that week?
Have you seen that? I Think You Should Leave skit where it's like the dating show one that all he wants to do is do the zip line?
No.
Yeah, so it's like, it's like the dating show, and she's like, I don't think I'm going to choose you because I think you're just here for the zip line. And the guy, Tim Robinson's like, what? And it shows like all these things of him going on the zip line at this like little island place. And he's like, I just don't want to go home. What's waiting for me is really bad. And she's like, what's waiting for you? And he's like, I don't know. I just feel like when I get there, something's bad's going to happen. She's like, what's going to happen? He's like, I don't know. And she's like, is there anything? And he's like, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Quiet Place next week.
Yeah.
And then The Bear. And then there'll be something the next 2 weeks, and then we'll do Deadpool. I don't know what'll go on the next 2 weeks after that.
Well, no,
maybe,
I mean, it'll just
Despicable
be 1 week.
Me 4.
Ooh, actually, we are going to go watch that.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'll go watch it. I love Despicable Me.
So,
I don't care what anybody says.
I need to watch
love
the
all
third
of them.
one.
The third one's good. I've never seen any of the Minions movies.
The first one's, the beginning is hilarious. The rest of it's super dumb.
Yeah.
And then I don't think I've seen the other one.
That checks out.
But the beginning's really funny of Minions, and that's about it.
That makes sense.
So
I just can't think of anything except for Deadpool and Wolverine. That's just the only thing on my brain right
gosh. Oh, it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. It's coming up so fast. We're a month away.
I know. I'm so excited. Venom 3 is coming out. I just typed in upcoming movies, and Venom 3 popped up, and the picture for it is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3. I'm like, I don't think that's accurate.
After
I
Venom
am interested.
2,
oh, wait. Venom 2 is horrible. Venom 1, I know you like that movie. Venom 1's also not a good movie.
Oh, I love the first one, but the second one was trash.
It's way too much build for the quickest fight scene in history.
Yeah, but it's just a fun movie. The second one is trash.
Fine. I like Tom Hardy and I like Venom, but I didn't like the movie. But the second one was real bad.
Was really bad.
That one I cannot tell you how bad it was.
No. So the third one will probably be horrible.
Yeah. So Quiet Place is out. Oh, Quiet Place is out tomorrow. Tomorrow. As is this Kevin Costner movie, which I'm interested in. Have you heard about this?
Mm-mm.
It's like a new Kevin Costner movie. It's coming out in 2 parts. It's like 1 part now and 1 part in like a month. And they filmed it in St. George, and it's like this Western drama. It's got Sam Worthington and Kevin Costner and stuff. No, I think it's in theaters. I think it's only theaters.
Weird. And they're releasing it in 2 parts.
Mm-hmm. Just a month apart, which that's how you do it, by the way, everybody.
I guess if you want to get a bunch of money.
Yeah. Or if you want people to not lose interest. Freaking Mission Impossible. Freaking Spider-Verse.
Ugh. Still don't even have
and Twisters, dude. We got to go see Twisters.
Oh.
With Glenn Powell.
Oh, that's
you're gonna go see Twisters, right? We're gonna go see that one.
Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
But we're gonna see it.
Yeah, when does it come out?
July 19th. It's the week before Deadpool.
Okay. Oh, so many movies.
We got to see Twisters, and we have to get a Slurpee. Everyone's telling me you got to get a Slurpee and a hot dog beforehand, and you just got to pretend it's 1996 again.
Well, when's no, that's 7-Eleven. I was like, bro, you might be able to get a free Slurpee, but
we were that close.
That's the week before. Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. Okay, well, everybody, movies are coming, and so is the podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
What is your expectation level for A Quiet Place?
Ooh.
It's not John Krasinski.
I think it will be. This is what I think. I think it will be really good, but I think it will be the 3rd best of the 3. I don't think it'll get to the level of the other 2 because those ones are just so good. But I think I'll love this one.
I'm very skeptical.
I can't picture it being bad.
I can.
It has good actors and good writers.
Yeah, that doesn't make a good movie.
No, not necessarily. How would it even be bad?
If they don't show a ton of the monsters and it's just kind of like they're just sitting in random different places surviving, but it's not like interesting.
But
that's you're
explaining the first 2 movies.
Yeah, but
you don't really see the monsters much. It's more about the thrill of them not getting
so good.
Yeah, that's true.
But is the story going to be that good this time?
Here's my thing. I love the beginning of an apocalypse, right? Mm-hmm. I think of I love World War Z when that whole thing breaks out. I love the beginning of, what was that terrible show? Last of Us. Love the beginning of that. Mm-hmm. World War Z, just everything where it starts. Yeah. The beginning of A Quiet Place 2. You know what I mean? I love that. And so if they're able to make a cool movie that's so cool, I think it'd be great. It could be great.
Oh yeah, it could be amazing.
But no, I get what you mean where it could be boring and not that good.
Hopefully it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is.
Yeah. But I just love those movies because you can't even like bite down on a piece of popcorn or like the whole.
I wonder if that's going to be this one though.
Yeah.
Or is there going to be so much?
I think it'll get to the point where it is like that, but
probably.
also they're not gonna be able to copy the first movie, you know.
No.
But I think it'll be super fun. And I think everyone's got to die too.
Oh yeah.
Which
hopefully they do.
That, you know.
Yeah. Hopefully they do.
Yeah.
The first two were just like, I mean, the first one is in my eyes basically a perfect movie.
For sure.
And the second one is like right there.
Right there.
It's like 22 and 21 Jump Street where it's like
I really
so
thought they
close.
couldn't. The second one, I really thought they couldn't make. Like I was like, how are they gonna make another good one?
Yeah.
You know. And then they did.
Yeah. But now it's not John Krasinski anymore, so that's where I'm like nervous.
And he's not. Is he not involved at all?
I mean, he's in the trailer, but that could just be a flashback.
He's in the trailer?
Yeah.
Oh.
From like the day one scene from the second one.
Oh. A Quiet Place Day One.
That's what I'm worried about, is that it's like, oh, let's make some money.
He wrote it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
With a couple other people, but Brian Woods.
So maybe he's got enough
is good.
Play into it that he'll make sure it's good.
Yeah, this guy's the same writer as the first one.
Okay.
And then the other writer is I don't know, something else, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think it'll be okay. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
okay.
Cool. Okay.
Is it you?
Well, yeah, it's me. You know it's me. Thank you, everybody, for listening to today's episode of really every amazing canoodling thing inside Orange Nudes thinks I'm monkeying ears. Bye, everybody. We love you.
gosh.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Have a good day, night, week, whatever it is for you.
Bye. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.